Hi y'all, welcome to my channel. So as the name of the channel implies, I live along the Gulf Coast where the sands are white and the water is green. So it's a beautiful place to stay. We're about a quarter of a mile from the Sound, which is a hop skip across to where the island is, and then of course we've got the Gulf of Mexico. We have been in a Zone 9A for a very long time. And so when you look at the USDA map for cold hardiness, we were a little tiny sliver down at the bottom. But as most of you know, the new Hardy Zone map just came out, and it is now, well, 80% of my county is now 9A. Which makes me kind of lean in and think, because I haven't seen those really close detailed maps, that perhaps my little sliver right along the coastline might even be 9B. And the only reason I think that is because last year I tried a new plant, first time in my yard, and it's basically cold hardy to Zone 10, and it died all the way to the ground, but then it came back. So I'm thinking positively. You know, this zone is, I used to think it was the sweet spot. I used to think, oh, we're 9. We get all these colder plants loving it here, and we have all of these near tropicals that could possibly survive here too. But the longer I've gardened here at my house, which is over 20 years, I have kind of been thinking more like it could be the dead zone. Because things that supposedly will go to 9 here along the coast of Florida don't really go here near the coast of Florida. The 9 is so different. I know you guys probably watch or Dig Plant Water Repeat Janie, and she lives also in a 9B. And I love watching her channel, and I think, oh, so many of these plants would do great here. Unfortunately, they do not. And so it's really just been kind of trial and error. What I can tell you is this. Big leaf hydrangeas do great here. Panicles, if they're given a lot of shade and protection, they will survive. Will they be the biggest things and the most flowerful things in the world? No. I would definitely not pay the money for a hydrangea tree, a limelight tree. There's actually right down the road from me a doctor's office, and they put in like 10 of these beautiful limelight trees, and it was so funny. The first year they were in, or first season, they looked gorgeous. And then at the end of the season, I could see workers that were maintaining the landscape, and they were looking at them and thinking, what's going on with these? Are these diseased? Or so? I could see it in their eyes. And then the next year when I saw the workers coming out working on it, I literally saw one worker just throw up his hands and when he's looking at one of them, like, this should have been able to live here. Well, just because things say that they will live in 9 doesn't mean it's Florida 9. So I can tell you that probably 80% of the Japanese maples will live here, especially if they have a little bit of shade. Full moons are a little more challenging. Right now I probably only have maybe just a couple of full moons. North side, shade almost all winter, shade some in the summer. But then some of my Japanese maples have gotten very large. So, you know, some of them, especially the Acer peas, do really good here. So what else does great here? Well, I can tell you that crepe myrtles grow like weeds. I'm always having to pick them out. Magnolias can also grow like weeds, and I have to keep pulling them out. Live oaks, yeah, sometimes they're a weed too. Bamboo is invasive. Horsetail is crazy. And anything that is a vine that is not a clematis, forget clematises. Yeah, no. But anything else that's a vine, oh my gosh, you better watch out because it will just go crazy. Which is wonderful if you have passion flower vine, because there's the Gulf fritillary butterfly that lays its caterpillar eggs on it, and the caterpillars consume that. But you got to make sure you have flowers here to feed those butterflies. And the one thing that I have noticed in the few places that I've driven around over the past 5 or 10 years is that for some reason my neck of the woods, there's no flowers hardly anywhere. I'm doing my best to plant flowers, but you know, I get tired of watching people say that salvia is a workhorse, that it just is amazing and it grows so much. Not so much in Florida, just saying. My butterfly bushes are struggling, and I think the only reason why they're really struggling is because you have to water when you're in Florida, because in the summertime we had about a month of no water. And even though the humidity is 80%, the dew point is 80%, that humidity is in the air and it's not really getting to the roots. And maybe that humidity is a little too much for the plant too. The other thing that is really, really problematic here is invasive grass. It will grow everywhere and it grows on a rhizome. And if anybody knows the name of the invasive grass in Florida, please let me know. I have no idea how to get rid of it other than to dig it out and periodically do cardboard mulching. I actually laid down plastic in one area where I put some gravel and plastic sheeting, and then I put cardboard on top of it. And in about 2 months, grass was growing through it. So when people say, you know, hey, just plant, 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 make it hard for that grass to grow in, yeah, not so much. Yeah, my roses, you should see them. I have them planted very close together, and there is grass growing all through them. Really fun to try to weed, let me just tell you this. And when I weed, I'm not necessarily taking out all the natural wildflowers, because I know that those are great for pollinators. I'm just trying to remove crabgrass, which is the bulk of my grass, because centipede don't live forever. I'm trying to pull out this invasive grass that grows to your hip, and it's just horrific. But I can share with you what I have learned, and that is the goal of my channel. And I know when I looked online, there wasn't a whole lot of people gardening in my little micro zone area of Florida. There's a wonderful lady, Central Florida, that does a lot of food harvesting and growing in her yard. And she also has wildflowers and native flowers for the pollinators. But I don't really grow a lot of food. I'm more of a flower person and just making things look beautiful all year. So that's going to be the focus of my channel. I might have the occasional food that I grow. Like I just started growing these garlics in containers like a week ago, and they seem to be doing great. But you know, it's not really my focus. So what I'm probably just going to do for the rest of this video is just do a quick little walk around my yard, and you can see what I'm growing and decide whether or not you want to keep watching for me. The other YouTuber that I sometimes watch is a lady a couple of counties over. She does a great butterfly gardening over there. I'm not sure if she's Fairhope or Daphne, but she is in, I believe, a more southern located house, because she's also in Zone 9, so that makes me think she might even be closer to Gulf Shores. My particular yard is close to Pensacola, but we're on the coastline, and we're actually in Santa Rosa County. So I hope you enjoy it, and maybe get some ideas or some inspiration. Just ignore all the grass that's growing in beds and weeds. I will be periodically doing videos of that, so I know people enjoy watching what other people garden, and weeding and cleaning up beds is part of it. And I do a little chore almost, it seems like, a couple of times a week, especially on the weekend. I'm a teacher during the week, so I just don't have a lot of time to do gardening when I get home, and I'm exhausted. I teach art to grades 3 through 5. Whew, it's a lot sometimes, but it's great. It's fun. So welcome to Emerald Coast Gardening, and I hope you enjoy my video.